know, I've got the energy. Energy Plus, and so can you.
Wish you had more energy? Want to feel like you're 18 years old again? Hi, I'm Bradshaw Layfield, former WWE World Champion, professional football player, author, and financial news analyst. Whether I'm slamming Wall Street by day or wrestlers by night, Energy Plus gives me the edge. An incredible energy breakthrough that's not one of those quick fix power drinks. Energy Plus is a blend with natural anti-inflammatories that will help you perform at your best with no crash.
I'm Hall of Famer Wade Boggs. If you want to play like a pro all day, this little 2-ounce shot will put the fun back in your game.
I created Energy Plus as my answer to my body getting older and my desire to get back in the ring. Energy Plus is for everyone, from athletes to moms, from students to CEOs. Look at me. 2 years ago, I broke my back and ballooned to 330 pounds. But with Energy Plus, I had the energy to work out and to lose almost 100 pounds. In my opinion, I have found the fountain of youth. Just ask Tori Wilson, former WWE diva, fitness model, and cover girl.
If you want to play with me, you better have energy. Energy Plus. You'll feel the difference.
Energy Plus. All gain, no pain.
Welcome to Stock Shotz. We're so pleased to have as our guest today John Bradshaw Layfield, CEO of Layfield Energy. Please check out John's new product at www.layfieldenergy.com. That's www.layfieldenergy.com. Listen in now as I interview JBL.
Mr. Layfield, thanks for being back with us on Stock Shotz this morning.
Hey, James, it's always great talking to you, my friend.
Yesterday, we saw the Fed announce a $1.2 trillion injection plan to unclog the credit markets in their mind. Is this going to hurt over the long run more?
These guys are absolutely out of control. I don't see how it can't. Look, you've got what they're talking about, a $1 trillion stimulus around the world by oil prices going down from $100 from their total peak. You've got the dollar that is stabilizing right now because it's the only currency out there that people feel secure in. So you are prime right now for an inflation scenario where if you inject tons of money, if commodity prices go higher, especially transportation-specific commodities like oil, and the dollar weakens, which sticking this much money in the system, it can't help but weaken, you're looking at what could be hyperinflation. I don't see how long-term this is good for us.
I don't either, and that was the biggest thing. And, you know, one of the things we talked about last time was the impact that it would have on businesses such as Layfield Energy. I mean, if we get back into a scenario where we're looking at 100-plus oil, that will definitely impact jobs, will it not?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. We're pretty lucky right now because oil prices have come down. Now, obviously, that has a lot to do with the economy and the drag on demand, which is a good thing. But you look at if it goes back up to $100, people are going to quit spending money. They're already stopping spending money because of the fear. Consumer sentiment is at an all-time low. For the first time, you did not have an incumbent in office defending this economy. So you had President Obama and Senator McCain both spending hundreds of millions of dollars saying the economy is terrible, which it is pretty bad. But you had nobody defending it, and consumer sentiment right now is at an all-time low because of a lot of that.
One of the other things that I wanted to talk about again is the tax issue. Now, you're a very successful businessman. You're an entrepreneur, the kind of guy that gets out there and creates jobs. But if we continue to have this class warfare and increase taxes on the job creators, I mean, at some point, don't you lose your incentive to get out there and expand if you're just going to wind up paying it all back in taxes?
There is no doubt about it. I've hired a couple people at Layfield Energy in the past couple weeks because we're actually growing during this downtime. But here's the problem. He's talking about helping out small businesses, which is what I'm considered. He's also talking about taxing the rich, which I'm considered. So if you have a small business that is getting a tax break and you have the rich, which I'm also considered in as well, that everybody in the world is going after, it's a net zero for me because you're raising my taxes, but my business, which I own, you're lowering those taxes. So to me, it's a net zero. It has absolutely no effect, and that is how most small businesses are run.
Yeah, and when you look at that zero effect, and then you combine the risk of starting a new business for many new entrepreneurs, I'm afraid it's going to kill the American dream over the long haul.
There's no doubt that it certainly stifles innovation when the government steps in such a big way. Employment is always a lagging indicator because the last thing you want to do, if you've had to let off employees, the last thing you're going to do is hire another employee. You're going to squeeze productivity out of everybody you can. You're going to increase hours. The last thing you're going to do is bring on another employee when the economy starts getting better because you've just had to let them go. And psychologically, that is a very hard thing to do. So the government needs to make it easier for businesses to hire these employees, inspire innovation, and they're not really doing that, I don't believe.
I agree. I think we're actually headed in an opposite direction. Now, we've heard people, Doug Cass most notably came on CNBC last week and basically not only called the bottom, but called this the generational buying opportunity of a lifetime. And all of a sudden, it seems like the market can do no wrong. I was really surprised that the market acted as it did yesterday. Do we have another leg down, or do you think the market's going to stabilize from this point?
I think we do. I would love for Mr. Cass to be right, but you've had 100 bottoms called by 100 different people so far, and it keeps going down. You know, sooner or later somebody's going to call a bottom, and it's going to be correct, and they're going to stand up and say, hey, look, I called the bottom. I don't mean to make fun of Mr. Cass. He may be 100% right, and I hope for the sake of this economy that he is. But you look at what caused this entire problem, it was house prices falling nationwide. Once that happened, because these financial institutions took it as an absolute truth that house prices would not fall nationwide, and once that happened, all bets were off. And by most measures, Case-Shiller specifically, house prices still have 10 to 15% to fall. I don't see us getting out of this until house prices stabilize. They don't have to quit falling, but they just have to stabilize, and I don't think we're there yet.
And wouldn't you also have to believe that to get out of this, that we wouldn't have any more really bad news in the banking system?
Absolutely, and I think we're going to continue to see write-downs. Look, Vikram Pandit came out and said that they're going to make money this quarter, which is a pretty phenomenal announcement. I hope that is correct. But you have to remember, Citi also came out and said they wouldn't cut the dividend. Citi also came out and said that they wouldn't sell assets. So I hope Mr. Pandit is correct. Ken Lewis came out and said that Bank of America is going to make money this quarter, this year. And I think that had as much to do with the market's rebound as anything.
For the rest of this great interview, visit our website, www.stockshotz.tv. That's www.stockshotz.tv. Thank you for listening.